Hey everyone, my name is Sarah Reese. I'm excited to be presenting to y'all today. Give me one moment while I share my screen. Okay, perfect. Okay, awesome. All right, so my topic today is the city of Zion. The location and Joseph's vision for Zion. All right, and its connection to our class is in Unit 7, Zion, Gathering of Israel, and the Law of Consecration. All right. Okay, and I just really like this scripture. It's from the Book of Mormon, 2nd Nephi. And it says, when they shall come to the knowledge of their Redeemer, they shall be gathered together again to the lands of their inheritance. And this is just basically explaining Zion and gathering Israel. And two scholarly articles I chose are right here. The first one is by Scott C. Esplin, titled Let Zion and Her Beauty Rise, Building Zion by Becoming Zion. And then the other one I chose was by Jeff O'Driscoll, and it's titled Zion, 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 Keys to Understanding Ether 13. And in Esplin's article, he says, though achieving Zion was difficult, Morley and others personally experienced both the place and process of Zion. Although Orson F. Whitney later penned, the redemption of Zion is more than the purchase or recovery of lands, the building of cities, or even the founding of nations. It is the conquest of the heart, the subjugation of the soul, the sanctifying of the flesh, the purifying and ennobling of the passions. If saints are to build Zion, they must surrender their hearts. In her children's hearts, Whitney concluded, must Zion first be built up and redeemed. And I really like this quote because Orson F. Whitney, he's basically saying that Zion must first be built in our hearts. It doesn't matter so much the physical location, but it needs to be inside of us. And then O'Driscoll said, when we consider such instruction, we can more easily understand the prophet's declaration that the whole of America is Zion itself. From north to south, it is the Zion where the mountain of the Lord should be. Brigham Young notes that Zion will extend eventually all over this earth. There will be no nook or corner upon the earth but what will be in Zion. It will all be Zion, which is so cool that the whole world can be Zion because it can be in our hearts. Okay. And two prophetic articles I chose were by Dita Christofferson, titled Come to Zion, and then Bruce R. McConkie, titled Come Let Israel Build Zion. And this is a quote I chose from Elder Christofferson, and he says, Zion is Zion because of the character, attributes, and faithfulness of her citizens. Remember, the Lord called his people Zion because they were of one heart and one mind, and dwelt in righteousness, and there was no poor among them. If we would establish Zion in our homes, branches, wards, and stakes, we must rise to the standard. It will be necessary, 1, to become unified in one heart and one mind, 2, to become individually and collectively a holy people, and 3, to care for the poor and needy with such effectiveness that we eliminate poverty among us. We cannot wait until Zion comes for these things to happen. Zion will come only as they happen. And I think this goes along with Esplin's article saying that we must build Zion and we need to become, holy people in our hearts and in order to build it physically, right, as well. And so I like that. And then Elder McConkie said, the foundations of Zion have been laid, but the promised city of holiness has yet to be built. This then is the counsel of the brethren. Build up Zion, but build it up in the area where God has given you birth and nationality. Build it up where he has given you citizenship, family, and friends, which is so cool because we can build Zion wherever we are. Okay, and there were so many Doctrine and Covenants scriptures. It was difficult to choose, but this is one I really liked. It's D&C 105, verse 5. And it says, and Zion cannot be built built up unless it is built by the principles of the law of the celestial kingdom. Otherwise, I cannot receive her unto myself. And I just really like that. And then the other one I chose was D&C 57 verses 2 through 3. And these say, hold on, let me get this out of the way. There we go. Wherefore, this is the land of promise, and the place for the city of Zion. And thus saith the Lord your God, if you will receive wisdom, here's wisdom. Behold, the place which is now called Independence is the center place, and the spot for the temple is lying westward upon a lot which is not far from the courthouse. So this section is really cool because Joseph Smith and other elders in the church and his presidency as well, they received revelation that Missouri, specifically Independence, is where Zion should be built in Jackson County, Missouri. And so this is talking more about the physical location of Zion. All right, and then in the Joseph Smith papers, there's this quote that says, on the north and south are to be laid off the farms for the agriculturists a sufficient quantity of land to supply the whole plot. And if it cannot be laid off without going too great a distance from the city, there must also be laid off on the east and west, where this square is thus laid off, and supplied lay off another in the same way, and so fill up the world in these last days, and let every man live in the city, for this is the city of Zion. So again, this is also talking about the physical location of Zion, and specifically when Joseph Smith and others were making the actual plans for this city. And so that is what it's talking about. Okay, and then just overall, there's two concepts that I gained from this research. And the first one is, according to Joseph Smith, Zion was a literal place of gathering the saints. As the Lord revealed, Zion was to be established in Jackson County, Missouri. Joseph Smith and the elders of the high priesthood drew up plans for the city, for the temple and the city. So a literal place, right? Zion is a literal place. Also, the second point I learned was not only is Zion a literal place that has been established multiple times throughout history, but it is also a people. Zion includes the pure in heart and living in a higher and holier way. It's so cool that Zion is also, it's a physical place, but it's also a place we can build in our hearts. And just to apply this to myself and to y'all as well, since Zion can be established no matter where I physically am in the world, I can choose to be pure in heart and follow the example of Christ wherever I go. And it's been very helpful to me recently as I am just figuring out my plans for next semester. And I know that as I follow Christ and, build Zion in my heart, I'll be in the right place no matter what. And I just want to end with this quote from D&C 97:21. It says, therefore, verily thus saith the Lord, let Zion rejoice for this Zion, the pure in heart. Therefore let Zion rejoice, while all the wicked shall mourn. And that's my presentation. Thank you.